Hey everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Cutting Room 101. Sorry it's been such a long break, but we're back now. And since the Oscars were on last night, this week's topic is going to be talking about our favorite Best Picture winners. There's so many fantastic films that have won Best Picture. I can't choose a favorite, but one of my favorites has to be Forrest Gump. And I think everybody pretty much knows what Forrest Gump is about, so I'm just going to dive into some quick thoughts about the film. Tom Hanks gives one of the best performances of his career, and when he acts, he actually creates a character. He becomes that character. Some people just act and they give a great performance, but he's really able to create all these characters, and to me, he's put one of the best characters on screen, being Forrest Gump. What I like about Forrest Gump is he always takes the high road, and he lives one of the craziest lives I've seen on screen. He's a football player, he goes through the Vietnam War, he plays ping pong, and he lives through the hippie movement. He goes through all these historic events, and throughout all these decades, he always does what he thinks is right. He's just such a likable character, and while he's trying to win back the girl of his dreams, Jenny, he ends up impacting other people's lives along the way. This movie has everything you'd want in a movie all wrapped up in one. It has comedy, it has drama, it has action, it has war, it has romance, and it's just such an interesting story. I get wrapped up in it every time I watch it, and every time it's on TV, I have to tune in. The visual effects are great when they insert him into historic footage as he's meeting presidents and other famous people. It really looks like he's there, and honestly, if you didn't know this was a movie, you might even think he's a real character just because of how well developed he is and the way they just were able to include him in actual events. There's so many great lines, and I quote this movie from time to time, so many memorable scenes as well. This movie really divides audiences. I've talked to people who absolutely hate this movie, other people who love it. I haven't really talked to anybody who actually just kind of likes the movie and nothing else. I think it's almost one of those love it or hate it movies. It has a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it should be much higher on the list, but that's just me because I love this movie and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But I think a lot of people wish that either Pulp Fiction or Shawshank Redemption won over this. And you know, if any of those movies had won, I would have been just as happy because that was just a great year. I mean, there were so many great movies up for Best Picture. But Forrest Gump ended up winning, and I'm happy that this is the movie that beat Shawshank Redemption and Pulp Fiction. I think it's much better than having Shakespeare in Love being the movie that beat out Saving Private Ryan. And also, Forrest Gump has a restaurant chain named after it, and not too many movies can say they have that. I think that Forrest Gump is an unforgettable movie. It's a movie that everyone should see at least once, so if you haven't seen Forrest Gump, I highly, highly recommend you check this film out. So that's my little review for Forrest Gump, and let me know in the comments below if you've seen Forrest Gump and what you thought of it. And also stay tuned tomorrow to hear from Anthony from The Random Mind on his favorite Best Picture winner. See you then.